So it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Shelby Scales. Shelby Scales serves as Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization Director at USDOT. And Shelby has served in many leadership roles focused on small business development and diversity, equity, and inclusion. Most recently, Shelby was the Director of Office of Civil Rights with the North Carolina Department of Transportation, where she administrated civil rights programs, including the Small and Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program and the historically underutilized business program. She also served as the President and CEO of the Airport Minority Advisory Council, AMAC, an organization established nearly 30 years ago to promote full participation of minorities and women in aviation and airport contracting environment. Dr. Shelby?
Good afternoon. I am not a doctor. I do aspire to be one, but I'm not there yet. I am so excited to bring comments to you today. I'm actually wearing two hats this afternoon, one from the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, which sits under the Office of the Secretary, but I'm also going to be bringing some remarks from the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Research and Technology, Mr. Robert Hampshire, who, due to his position as a political appointee, cannot speak to you all because this is his alma mater, so we have to have a little bit of arm's length, but he brings his, asked me to bring his regards and his remarks on his behalf to you all today. So I'm going to kind of walk you through fairly quickly what I think is some information that will be very helpful to many of you in your pursuit and working with DOT. I'm just so excited, Doctor, to be here because I've already met two best friends now. Aaron, if you'll wave your hand, I've received your capability statement and sent that over to several of our operating administrators already as a small business. And also Mr. Eric Winfield, who is working with our tech companies. We are trying to expand our opportunities for our young entrepreneurs to get involved with our technology and innovation. So I'm going to move quickly and hopefully, can you see my slides yet? Let's see. Nope, not yet. There we go. Got it. Hit down. Okay, very good. Got to understand your technology. Very good. So a little bit about our mission with my office and with DOT. Of course, we are here to ensure that our nation has the safest, most efficient, and effective modern transportation system in the world, and that we improve the quality of life for American people and communities from rural to urban. And you've been talking a lot about some of those systems and how we need to improve that. Some of our top priorities, of course, is to keep the traveling public safe and secure and to increase their mobility, both in rural as well as urban, and our transportation systems can contribute to our nation's economic growth. They've got me going very slow on my delivery here. Sorry about that. So a little bit about Secretary Buttigieg in terms of his organizational goals and top priorities, which I think is very important: safety, innovation, infrastructure. And with that, we are working with all 10 of our operating administrations. We also want to make sure that there's different needs based on the industry focus. We also employ about 55,000 people across the country, so we want to make sure that, I think a young lady in the previous panel said that we can also think about different perspectives and different ideas from all across the country. And we also support, as I said earlier, our Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. This is our small and underutilized programs as well. In my office, the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, our mission is really to implement what the Secretary's goals are in a fair and efficient manner, and that is dealing with small businesses. In terms of how we do that, we support his priorities as well as the administration's priorities. We have two different divisions. One is our Procurement Assistance Division, where we work directly with our procurement officers on procurement forecasts. So for those of you small businesses who are in the audience, your first stop into doing federal procurement would be into our office to work with us. We also work very closely with our prime contractors and prime vendors in the supply chain through a mentor-protege program, and we recently have instituted what we call a Connections Marketplace, where each of our operating administrations will come into a virtual setting and work with small businesses who are interested in doing direct procurement with the federal government. On a regional basis, we have 11 regional resource centers. We work on getting our small businesses bonded. We also work with our technical assistance specialists. We work with PTAC, SCORE, SBA, MBDA. The federal government uses a lot of acronyms, but basically we provide technical resources to our small businesses. And we also provide access to capital as well. We do that by partnering with our CDFIs as well as other financial institutions. On yesterday, I was with one of my SBTRCs, Mid-Atlantic in Philadelphia, and we met with about 20 different investment companies who are investing in our SBICs as well as other funds to fund our small businesses that are doing transportation-related work. So we want to make sure that we also provide that access to capital. As I said before, our 11 SBTRCs, or Small Business Technical Resource Centers, they provide the technical assistance that support us throughout the country. There's 11 of them. You'll see the color-coded map here. Capacity building is one of our strong strengths. We also instituted a Women in Transportation internship program. So if you have any female students who are interested in getting involved in careers in transportation, please connect them to that center as well. I would not be allowed back in DC if I did not talk about the bipartisan infrastructure law. How many of you are familiar with the bill? I should see everybody's hands. The first thing I always say is follow the money. So we were very fortunate, DOT, to get this bill passed through Congress. I heard a comment earlier about how difficult it is in DC to get anything done, particularly on policy, but I'm very proud to say that we got it done. And this is where the money is going. We're hoping to repair our roads, our bridges, our safety efforts, public transit, of course, passenger and freight rail, electric vehicles and electric buses, our airports, ports, waterways, environmental remediation and power infrastructure, and other areas of investment like technology and research and things of that nature. It's not all construction, I tell people. It's not all about the roads, so please look a little bit deeper. How this money flows, generally speaking, we do about 30+% in direct procurement on the federal level, and then the rest of the money goes down to the states and down to our municipalities, our counties, other transit authorities and such. So if you're looking to get involved in the procurement and some of these projects, I do encourage you to start with, of course, our office, and we can certainly help you on the federal level, but also your state DOT and some of your localities will have much of that money to rebuild their roads and bridges and et cetera. We also are making sure that we have a forecast of where the dollars are going in terms of the grantees. So if you visit our website for OSDBU, you will see a link that says sam.gov. Much of our direct procurement is on that link, but you'll also begin to see a lot of the forecasted procurement on another link on that page as well. So what will the infrastructure law do? We hope that it will deliver clean water to millions of our households, and I'm sure you are very familiar with the issue that we have nationwide. We also want to make affordable the high-speed internet, electric vehicle charging stations is one of our biggest areas of interest that we want to make sure that this money goes towards. Rebuilding our economically significant bridges. We've had several issues that you all have seen via the news on our bridge repair issues. We also want to make sure that this is the largest investment that public transit is going to receive, as well as our rail system. And then we want to make our communities safer and our infrastructure more resilient for the impacts of climate change and other threats. I'm from North Carolina, and we've had several major storms that have washed out bridges and roadways and have not only caused damage to the infrastructure, but it impacts the communities in which people live in as well. So we're hoping that the monies will trickle down into those communities to be rebuilt. Aside from working with small businesses, we also work very closely with my colleague who will be speaking very soon on research and innovation, supporting our historically underutilized institutions as well as our minority-serving institutions to build capacity for them. And we do that because we have a federal acquisition regulation, FAR as we call it, 26.302, that helps to govern getting these institutions involved in our research and development. We also work very closely to obtain a better understanding and helping them to bid on contracts as well as increasing their footprint for federal procurement opportunities. And we want to make sure that our HBCUs and MSIs are aware of the small business transportation resource centers that I spoke about, through our cooperative agreement programs, those are grants, to make them eligible and to get more of the share of cooperative agreements as well. So look forward to talking to you, Mr. Winfield, about how we can collaborate and get more of our schools involved. On the entrepreneurship side, we do have a new program called Pathways to Entrepreneurship. What we're seeing, particularly at the federal level, is that we do not have enough businesses in the line of work in which the organization is moving. So when you all are talking about the technologies and the innovations, we simply don't have enough companies that are in that space. And so we have to begin to start to create them. So what we're doing is working very closely again with our universities, particularly those that have entrepreneurship programs, to try to get our students involved in not just a career, but understanding where DOT is going in terms of its business needs and how we can educate them on the entrepreneurship side. So we're very excited about that program, looking forward to collaborating more deeply with you all on that. So the other side of the conversation today is from the Office of Assistant Secretary for Research and Technology, and the panel that's coming up will be talking more deeply about that. But this office is as part of the Office of the Undersecretary for Policy. I heard someone talking about how difficult it is for the policy. It is difficult for us in DC to work to change policies, but I would say to you as a little sidebar as part of my remarks, we want to hear from you, and we want to understand what your challenges are as well. Both myself and Don took many notes from the conversation today, so please make sure that we're not just talking about what's not working in DC, but that you somehow provide that information to us so that we can consider your thoughts as boots on the ground and consider what your challenges are as well. And we do that a lot of times through our coordinated research activities. We also spread that information over to our operating administrations. As I said before, there are 10 of them within DOT. We also want to make sure that we align our modal research activities and resources with the department's strategic goals and areas of interest. This department also advances innovation, technology development, and breakthrough knowledge, and they conduct research and facilitate multimodal research collaborations. And again, we do that with your help and by coming to conferences like this and interacting with you all. And we want to foster the technology transfer through our partnerships with DOT and other academic industry partners, and my colleague will be speaking about that a little bit more. So part of this effort is our grants and assistance through our university transportation centers and our small business innovation research we call SBIR. So the University Transportation Centers, the UTCs as we call it, is a state-of-the-art in transportation research and technology, and it's there to develop the next generation of transportation professionals. The congressionally mandated program has been in place since 1987, and it helps to address the nation's ever-growing need for safe, efficient, and environmentally sound movement of people and goods. So how many of you are involved in a UTC today? Oh, I need to see more hands. Okay, more hands, more hands. Get involved in our grants program. Each UTC is a consortium of 2 or 4-year colleges and universities that come together to form a unique center of transportation excellence on a specific research topic. Internationally recognized for their capacity to lead, innovate, and educate, UTCs continue to enhance the transform our transportation system and keeping in step with our nation's economic, environmental, and societal goals. The best example I can give you is the one that was given to me at the table just a few minutes ago with our friend, Mr. Eric Winfield, in the Tech Lab, and how we are using automated vehicles here on campus. So thank you for that example, and I'll use that in my presentation going forward. Our Small Business Innovation and Research, SBIR, is a highly competitive program, awards contracts to domestic small businesses. So this program is a grants program that is administered through the VOPI program. And so for small businesses that are in innovation and technology, you can apply to this as a grants program. So if you're interested in more information, please take a look at our website, or make sure you drop your card off with myself or either Dawn that's sitting at the table here. I want to also leave you with some resource links. We will make this presentation available to you. I'm sure many of you know of our resources, but our Transportation Research Centers there, our OSDBU office, our Small Business Transportation Research Centers, which are regionally, our SBA, which many of you are very familiar with helping us with our Small Business Enterprise Program. They also have a small business database, and then sam.gov is where you would find procurement opportunities at the federal level, and then DOT procurement forecast is where you would find our federal opportunities specifically to DOT. The last slide here is my extended team of folks at our SBTRCs, depending upon where you are geographically. But please tap into these centers. They work very closely with your states and your municipalities in your local areas to let you know what is coming down the pipe in terms of their procurement, but also research and innovation as well. Again, not just from the federal level, but even from the state level, the research and innovation teams that are on the DOT level at the state level are very important for you all to tap into as well. Thank you for inviting me again. Look forward to collaborating with many of you in the audience this afternoon. So if there's anything that caught your eye, caught your attention, please make sure that we exchange business cards. We are looking to collaborate in the federal government in Washington, D.C. with you all out in the field. Thank you so much.